Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a thing called piecework. Now, for piecework, what you need to realize is that some workers are actually paid by the amount or parts sold. So, for example, if you're at TG Minto or you're at Stack a Shelf, the number of pallets that you made is what you would get paid. Sorry, the number of pallets that you made is what you would get paid for. Okay. This means that the amount that they're paid by the amount they make or sell. Now, these earnings are based on the number made or the salary plus the number sold. So examples of stuff that has piecework are, let's say that you were delivering newspapers. Or the Penny Saver or the Huron Gazette, right? They may pay you 5 cents for every paper that you sell or distribute, right? Maybe you're working as a chicken catcher, right? And if you're working as a chicken catcher, you're literally going out and picking up the number of your quota for the day. And that quota for the day is what you get paid by. Okay. Now, maybe you work in a mechanic shop and you get paid for every tire change that you do. Okay. Now, when you start a job like this, okay, you got to understand that there are certain questions that you have to consider. So, for example, if we're taking at this job about Gibson's guitars here, you're going to be paid piecework, right? So imagine you're getting that job and they say you're getting paid piecework, right? So there are some questions that you have to answer or get answers for in order to make this thing work. So when they say you're getting paid piecework, you got to ask yourself, how much do I get paid for selling each guitar, right? Some also may want to know about the location. And one of the other things that I want you to think about is what the base salary is. So imagine, is there a base salary, right? So if you sell no guitars for the week, are you guaranteed a small amount of money for the week? Okay. And now let's go take a look at an example and figure out how much money we make doing piecework. So we've got two basic examples here that we're going to go over and try to make sense of. All right. And then what we'll do is after we go through each problem, you can always go back and look at these, for example. So, for example, if I'm looking at task number 1 here, it says John works time at WFCU Center Wellington selling programs for Windsor Spitfire games. He's paid by piecework. He earns $10 per game plus 25 cents for every program he sells. Now, we got to figure out how much money John will make if he sells 150 programs at only one game. Okay? So, the piecework for the games, for the number of programs, is going to be, well, it says it's 25 cents for every game, for every program. So we go 0.25, and we're going to times that by the 150. Putting that in your calculator, you end up with $37.50, right? Now, you got to think about the number of games that he made. It says he sold one game, didn't he? So the number of games is just 1 times 10 because it's one game times $10, which gives us $10, right? So now that we have those two sets of numbers, right, we got to figure out what the total pay is. And in this case, the total pay is equal to the sum of both of the piecework and the number of games that were sold, right? So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to add them up. So we got 37.50 plus the $10 from the games that he sold, which gives us $47.50. So therefore he makes $47.50. Now, when you do all these problems, you're going to get marks for each of these calculations, right? You're also going to get marks for totaling, and then you're also going to get marks for giving your final answer as a final statement. So now let's move on to our last task of the day. So this one has 3 parts to it, okay? So Ethan builds wooden pallets. On Monday, he builds 300 pallets and is paid 35 cents per pallet, okay? Now, you notice it doesn't say anything about making a base salary or any extra money to start it, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, the piecework is given by this. It's given by using the 300 pallets, and we're going to times it by the 0.35 cents. Sorry, so we go 0.35, and we multiply by 300. Punch that in your calculator, you end up with 105. So that's $105 he makes for 300 pallets. So now we must say as our final answer, he makes $105 on Monday. All right. So now imagine that for the week, okay, he builds 300 each day from Tuesday to Friday. Now, remember, he also has Monday as well. Don't forget, he worked Monday. So he worked Monday to Friday. So that's a full work week, right? So what we have to do is we got to remember that we did 300 each day from Monday to Friday. Let's figure out how much his week pay would be. So all we're going to do is just add 105 5 times, right? Because we got to make sure that we get the total amount of money for the week. In this case, we end up with a total of $525. So now we're going to say as our final answer, so he would make $525 for the week. So remember, he made 300 pallets every day from Monday to Friday. And each time he did that, he made $105. Okay. So now this last problem says, well, Ethan has 2 weeks, like 2 weeks vacation because he's got he works 50 weeks a year. Okay. So suppose he makes the same number of pallets each week, right? How much will he earn in a year? We call this the annual salary. So when we have an annual salary, we take the number of weeks, the amount of money that we make. So that's the money per week. And we multiply by the number of weeks he works. And in this case, it's 50. So that's the weeks worked. So that is how we find the total amount of money he's going to make for the year. And in this case, he's going to make $26,250. And then we say as his final answer, therefore he makes $26,250 $250 yearly. And we are done. Now, for a problem like this, you're going to get a mark for this and a mark for this. For this problem here, where we have to figure out the week for the year, the amount of money for the year, we get a mark for the final answer and a mark for the calculation. The same is said for this question and the final answer. All right. Now, I'd just like you to work on about 6 or 7 questions and call it a day.